It's covered GMAT prep. In today's episode, we kind of want to cover a variety of topics, kind of wrap up the series. So let's jump right in. Let's talk about creating a waitlist strategy. Tell our viewers out there
Sure.
what it means if we are waitlisted.
Yeah, well, waitlist actually means sort of different things to different schools, and it means different things from year to year, from school to school. And what we're seeing much more is business schools basically have two things because the rankings are so important and they have